Juggs knew it was time. Time to leave Austin. Time to venture out into the wild unknown. Time to market the living hell out of himself. First move? Throw his full-length debut album, titled simply Darla, on every billboard he could afford. Not in Austin. No. Juggs knew the real genius was to hit the surrounding towns. The way surrounding ones. The kind of towns where the Dairy Queen is City Hall and the mayor's office smells like microwaved burritos. Chilton, Texas. That's where he made his stand. In Chilton, Juggs decided to double down on community outreach. He took his meager marketing budget and founded a baseball team, the Chilton Chittlins. 12 kids, 8 teeth between them, each one armed with their very own hand-picked jug, courtesy of Juggs himself. At first, it seemed brilliant. Instead of bats, they swung jugs. Instead of cheers, they howled like haunted barges. The jug-blowing messed with the other team's heads. Pitchers couldn't find the plate. Batters couldn't focus. Fielders ran in circles trying to dodge sound waves that didn't exist. Juggs stood on the sidelines, chest puffed out, tears streaming down his face. They're playing from the heart, Darla. They're playing from the heart. But nothing good stays good for long. Juggs' accountant, Darla's sleazeball brother, old Donnie, had been pocketing money the whole time, funding anti-Juggs political campaigns, plastering up signs that said things like, "Juggs steals our wind," "Keep crockpots clean," "Children need air, not noise pollution." He even paid a washed-up local newscaster to run an exposé called The Crockpot Cults of Central Texas. But what old Donnie didn't know, what nobody knew, was that Juggs had high-level political connections. The kind of ties that didn't get printed on resumes but carved into marble somewhere underground. Juggs just grinned through it all, slapping bumper stickers on his rusted van. "Blow loud, blow proud, honk if you love crockery. No fair, all air." While old Donnie plotted Juggs' political downfall, he also managed to get himself blackout drunk, booked a one-way ticket to Guadalajara, and woke up 2 weeks later in a rented U-Haul packed with 4,000 pounds of angel dust and a book duct taped to his chest titled, "Why the English Language is the Best." No extradition, no return address, no old Donnie. Problem solved. Meanwhile, the Chilton Chittlins were doing the impossible. They blew their way through the county championship, literally. During the final, they started a 3-minute-long synchronized jug drone that made the other team's shortstop vomit on his cleats. The umpire's hearing aid short-circuited and started screaming Morse code. Half the crowd left thinking the rapture had begun. The Chilton Chittlins won by default when the opposing team refused to come back onto the field without earplugs and therapy. Juggs hoisted the homemade trophy, a pickle jar glued to a stick, high above his head, bawling and yelling, "That's for you, Grandpappy! That's for you!" To celebrate the victory and the album release, Darla made a strategic decision. She went up a cup size. Again, when Juggs asked her why, she just winked and said, "Gotta keep up with inflation, baby biscuit." Sales of the album Darla quadrupled overnight. Mostly because nobody was buying the music. They were buying the full-page ads she ran of herself in leather chaps holding a jug over each tit. No judgment. Marketing is marketing. Meanwhile, Juggs' billboard campaign, well, it had some issues. The first town put up a 10-foot-tall picture of Juggs mid-sneeze, eyes half shut, mouth wide open, snot arcing like a shooting star. Right next to it, someone put up a second billboard. Juggs, 5 minutes later, missing both his front teeth, still smiling like he'd just seen God. The slogan? "Juggs, he may be ugly, but man can he blow." Juggs loved it, ordered 20 more just like it. Flash forward a few nights later, back at the old blues bar. Juggs clanked in, crockpot swaying, announcing his arrival before the door even swung shut. The place went silent, not respectful silence, more like the silence before a car crash. Old T-Bone was already there, nursing a beer like it owed him money. Without a word, he stood up, walked over, and punched Juggs right in the face. Nose broke with a crack loud enough to make the ceiling fan wobble. Juggs stumbled backward, knocking over a bar stool and dropping one of his prized crockpots. The thing shattered like glass, pieces skidding across the sticky floor. T-Bone just growled, "Get the fuck out of my bar, Juggs!" No ceremony, no pity, just raw dismissal. Bleeding, humiliated, and down another jug, Juggs wandered back to the golf course, the last place he remembered feeling like he mattered. He staggered across the fairways, humming broken tunes to himself, his breath rattling like busted fan blades. Finally, he collapsed onto the 14th hole, tears and blood staining the turf. He didn't know why he sang nor why he kept blowing, only knew that somewhere out there the right note could still save him. And that's when he felt it. Tripped over something half buried in the soft ground. Brushing away the dirt, he found it. The Nub 7/3 crockpot. No markings, no brand, just shaped like an hourglass, with potpourri sealed inside, rattling faintly like the tail of a rattlesnake dreaming of better days. Juggs picked it up, heart pounding. It wasn't just a jug, it was the jug. Sustain, depth, glory. If this jug had tits, he would have married it right there in the rough. He pressed it to his lips and blew. The sound that came out wasn't a note, it was a revelation. The fairways bent, the stars blinked. Somewhere a pickup truck flipped into a ditch from sheer emotion. Juggs laughed through his bleeding mouth. He had found it. The hourglass blow. When he turned, standing by the moonlit sand trap was Michael Falcon, smiling, nodding once, and then, without a word, Falcon exploded into a cloud of silver feathers and shot into the sky, revealing he had been a real goddamn falcon all along. Juggs stared up, hand over his heart, crockpot cradled tight against his ribs. He wasn't just back. He was unstoppable.